Good morning, Arsene. Have the positive effects from the weekend been already seen in your squad in training?
Well, it was a relief. Everybody was happy yesterday just for having qualified for the final. But anything different would have been, of course, have been very negative in our mind. And now it's can put that in the back of our mind and focus on the Premiership.
The job in hand is West Ham at home tomorrow night. What's your team news, please?
Well, I cannot give you complete team news because many of them have to be checked today. With plenty of uncertainties for muscular problems, fatigue, and as well who could be available, who was not in the squad on Saturday. Maybe Rosicky, will have to test him today. Maybe Koscielny, you have to test him definitely today. So, but plenty of uncertainties. I have to make up my mind later on.
Who are the main uncertainties?
Main uncertainties are Monreal, who had to come off. Podolski had a little problem, but I think he will be all right. Then Chamberlain, because he was not even supposed to play on Saturday. Ramsey, who had, of course, his first had to come off for muscular tightness, and they are the main problems.
What's the injuries to those? What's the injury to Monreal and Chamberlain?
Big bruise for Monreal. Chamberlain is tightness that he had in his groins before the game already.
And a possible big boost with Koscielny coming back. He's been out for a long time.
Yeah, Koscielny will be tested today, and we have to decide. I have to decide after training today: do I take the risk or not to start him tomorrow?
And just finally, from me, important to turn it round in mental terms and concentration, because one job is done. You're in the FA Cup final, and now there's a big job to do in the Premier League.
It is, yes. I feel we played many games this season, you know, in many different competitions and many tough games, and but you've put a lot of effort in the Premiership, and we want to finish strong now, and we have the opportunity to start tomorrow with a big game because it's a derby. West Ham is in a comfortable position, and that means they can play without fear. So we know that in this kind of games it's very important that we have a good focus and a good tempo in our game, and that we focus now on the Premiership.
Okay. Arsene, first of all, congratulations on reaching the FA Cup final. I'm sure you know it was a month without winning a game. Do you see that tie game in the end, the right result on Saturday, as a turning point for you for the rest of the season?
Look, it is an important game because when you're in the semi-final and you win, it is of course an important game. It releases a bit the pressure of the team on that front, but we want to bounce back in the Premiership, and we know that one of the main target is the Premiership, and therefore we want to finish strong. We have a battle with Everton, and of course it's now down to consistency in our final games.
Before I talk about the Premier League challenge, Stan Kroenke came into the dressing room at Wembley. Any clues what he said to the players or yourself?
No, because at the time I was with the press, with you.
But he's clearly as pleased as all the other fans about the completion of the final.
Look, Stan Kroenke wants to win, like every fan wants to win, and so when you win, he's happy.
You have the easier running out of the two between you and Everton. You've never failed to take Arsenal to the Champions League in a full season. How much of a blow would it be if you did fail this time?
Look, we want to achieve it, and that's simple, and we just want to not imagine the consequences of not doing it. What you want is just focus on doing it, and that's where I think we have a focus, we have a quality of the spirit we have a desire, and we have slowly. We are slowly getting our players back, and so the squad is much more. Is not depleted anymore. It's much stronger, I think, in the next weeks than it was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Do you need to win every game?
It is the target. Do you need it? Nobody knows. But the target is, of course, to win every game.
Who do you think will win the title, Arsene?
I don't know more than you about that, because Liverpool had an important win yesterday, and but I believe that the experience we have of a Premier League this season, it shows you that it's really unpredictable for everybody.
Can I just ask you a final point? It occurs to me that Everton's final game of the season will be against Hull, who will have a big game the following week. What would you say to Hull about their approach to that game?
Nothing. You know, Premier League is a Premier League. If you want the Premier League to be respected, you just have. At the moment, everybody in the world watches the Premier League because they know that everybody gives 100% in every single game. We just want to continue to do that for everybody.
Thank you, Arsene.
Arsene, have you got a message for the fans ahead of this game? Because at this point in the season, they can really play a part, can't they?
Look, our fans were fantastic on Saturday, even when it was bad, and so you want them to be behind the team, because I'm sure they will, and we can finish well the season because we have finish in the top 4. We can win the FA Cup, so it's down to how united we'll be until the end of the season and focus together.
The celebrations after the semi-final win, Arsene, were you pleased to see your team celebrate like that? Was that telling of the pressure they were under?
Yes. You want when you're 1-0 down. You know, Wigan. Let's not forget that Wigan won the cup last year. But they went to the semi-final this year. They knocked 3 Premier League teams out, and we were 1-0 down with 10 minutes to go. So of course it's everybody was happy because we know how difficult it is to turn these games around.
And the performance, was that enough, the performance, to give you confidence ahead of West Ham?
Look, the performance mentally and determination, I think we were there. We know that on the football front we can do much better, and that will be the target until the end of the season.
And Everton are in a strong position, so what makes you think that you can overtake them?
The quality of our performances, the quality of our spirit and our focus. It's down to consistency, and we have just to focus on our results and see where we finish.
Okay, James.
Arsene, Everton has obviously performed very well recently, but is it a different pressure now they're ahead for them, different pressure leading to chasing?
I don't know. I believe that they have difficult games, we have difficult games. We just can. We want to focus now on what we know we can do. We have a more complete squad and want to win our games. No matter what Everton does, you want to finish in a strong way.
Do you think the fact that you have finished in a strong way the last few seasons and finished 4th, does that count, that experience count? Could it be the difference?
It counts, yes, of course.
Could it be the difference, you think, between the two?
No, the difference will be the quality of what you produce on the pitch, and that is down to desire to be faithful to our game. We want to play and get everybody back into the squad.
Can I just ask if there's any update on Jack Wilshere?
Look, Jack Wilshere should start to jog this week. It's all going well, but we have to monitor him now day by day.
Is the return date still the same for him, early May?
Look, I think the next 3 weeks will be very important for him.
So do you think it's still likely that he can play again this season?
Yes.
Monreal, was it dead leg?
Yeah.
Is it nothing more serious because it looked quite. And Podolski, what's his injury problem?
He had a dislocated finger and a little muscle problem, but I think the muscle problem was very minor. But he had a dislocated finger that you had to put back.
Podolski, he's a player who you often substitute. He doesn't seem to be very happy about being a player who's substituted. But is it good in a way that you have a player like that who shows who's frustrated when he can't, carry on?
Yes, of course. I never seen Mette play in my life who's happy when he's substituted.
With how would you rate Olivier Giroud's performance in these last few months? He seemed to make a difference when he came on, didn't he, against Arsenal? But he's not probably been at the.
He has a fantastic spirit, fantastic team player. Olivier Giroud has gone for a little bit period a bit more difficult, but that happens to any striker, Striker is the most demanding position, and he has played many games, more games than any other striker in the Premier League, and that of course is very demanding.
Does he still remain central to your plans for next season? You're looking to bring a bit of support?
Yes, of course.
Does he need a bit more support, you feel? Because
look,
probably needs a bit of development.
you cannot say that Podolski is a striker. And he's not a defender. Walcott is a striker. Özil is, for me, is a half a striker. And Cazorla is an offensive player. Rosicky is an offensive player. So we have usually plenty of support for our strikers.
And don't forget Sanogo as well.
Sanogo, yes, but they do not always play together, Giroud and Sanogo.
Thanks, Jim. And finally, Mark.
Arsenal player that's given you some problems over the years, Andy Carroll. Is he a player that you've got to take extra care with tomorrow night?
Yes, because he's a player, once the ball is up there, you do not find many people who can compete with him and win the challenge. So what is important is that we stop the balls to go to him.
Is there any other player like him in England?
Of that quality in the air, there's not many. I don't think so.
And if he stays fit, do you think he deserves to go to the World Cup?
I leave that to Roy Hodgson.
Okay, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.